My best friend accused me of theft after I took home a left dress from a clothing swap she organized when neither of us knew its real value until later. Last month, my friend Zoe moved a swap and sip charity event at her apartment. The concept was simple. Burn clothes you don't wear anymore, donate $20 to a women's shelter, drink wine, and take home whatever catches your eye. I've worked in fashion merchandising for 8 years, so I have decent knowledge of brands and quality. While sorting through a pile, I found a little black dress with distinctive stitching that looked suspiciously like Duro. No labels, they were cut out, but the craftsmanship was unmistakable. I quietly added it to my take-home pile without mentioning it to anyone. The woman who donated it was Rachel, a new friend in Zoe's yoga class. She brought several bags of her recently deceased grandmother's clothing. When Rachel saw me take the dress, she smiled and said, "That old thing finally found a home." Ren wore it to play bridge. Can you believe it? At home, I examined it carefully. Fumber in the lining was the Telltale Dirk serial number. I did some research and discovered it was from the 1960s fall-winter collection, conservatively worth $6,000, $8,000 in its excellent condition. Asked Zoe excitedly about my find. Big mistake. 2 days later, she called in tears. Rachel had apparently told her grandmother's family about the swap, mentioning that plain black dress someone took. A cousin who works in vintage fashion of out, explaining it was an apparel piece their grandmother had purchased in Paris. Now Zoe was demanding I return the dress so she could give it back to Rachel's family. She called me predatory for using my fashion knowledge to steal from people who didn't know better. I reminded her that the entire point of the swap was that items were deliberately being given away. Rachel had literally smiled as I took it. "But you clearly know what it was worth," Zoe argued. "I suspected but wasn't certain," I replied honestly. And Rachel's grandmother clearly knew what it was too. She just didn't tell her family. Our friend group is divided. Half think I am the fashion equivalent of someone who buys a rare baseball card from a clueless widow for $5. The others argue that's literally how thrifting works. Sometimes you find treasures because you have knowledge others don't. I offered to sell the dress and split the money with Rachel, but now she wants the dress back entirely. What I haven't told any of them yet is that I already had the dress professionally queened and discovered a handwritten note sewn into the lining. "To my dearest Margaret, may you always feel as beautiful as you truly are. All my love, Charles." I am no longer sure if I am protecting a beautiful piece of fashion history or just being selfish.